Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Click and Cliff coming back at you with another Beyond Click and Cliff. I come at you this morning with a topic of I'm bored. Have you ever been bored as a child? Well, I'll take you back when I was like 6 years old. I was playing t-ball, and of course they put me out in the outfield. And you know, little kids, you don't get very many balls out in the outfield at t-ball, especially when you're that young and that age. You're basically learning how to swing a bat, throw a ball, play the game. So I get put out there, I believe it was like left field or something like that, and I got in trouble because I used to throw the glove in the air and catch it, because that's the only action I got. Just throw my glove in the air and catch it. My dad and my mom yelling at me in the stands, quit throwing my glove. But I was bored. I didn't even sit on the grass, Indian style, and pick the grass because I was so bored out there. And you know what? Sad is I love the game of baseball. I always did when I was a kid. I grew up around Lee Summit, Harrisonville. That's a suburb of Kansas City. So I was a big Kansas City Royals fan. And it was funny because my coach played for the Royals. And it was weird because he was a really good coach. I mean, he taught us the game. But I tell you, it's just, life gets boring. Now, it's up to you how to construct your life, right? Me being the only child, there's a lot of times where I was bored. Usually when I get bored, I get in trouble. That's how it always has been for me. But it's weird. I don't know. Being the only child, you do get bored. You start, but I really think when you're bored, only a child, you use your imagination just a little bit more because you got nobody to play with, like your siblings, brothers or sisters, to fight, to pick on, or whatever the case may be, to play with. You got your neighborhood friends. But a lot of times, they couldn't come out to play because they were doing chores or whatever. And I grew up on a place where I didn't have the closest neighbor was maybe like a mile down the road. So I didn't get to just go with my neighbors and play because they were busy too. I grew up out in the country. I had chores every day. So I didn't really have a chance just to go play with my friends when I was little. When I was little, I didn't have responsibility, until I got older. When I got to 10, 11, where I can be left on my own, that's when they gave me chores at home, and I was pretty busy to home my rest of my childhood. But I do, I just remember sitting in my room as a young lad, or a youngin', 7 years old, like I said, around 6, 7, and I was bored all the time. Back then, I think the only gaming system was the Atari. I don't think Nintendo was out yet. I may be wrong, but I think it came out in '85 or something like that. So it may have been the first years of Nintendo anyway. But my parents won't let me sit there and play a game. They maybe go outside, which I still think is good today. Making your kids go outside and getting some fresh air. Don't be stuck in a room playing a game all day. But that's another subject, another day. But I remember sitting home being bored. And every time I was bored, I'd get in trouble. Now, I know there's one time where I Went to my uncle's house, and my cousins were way older than me. I mean, when I was 7 years old, they were 15, 16, doing their own things with their friends, and I always was stuck at my uncle's house by myself doing absolutely nothing. So I remember one day I getting a black magic marker, went down to my cousin's best friend's house, and I just started drawing on the side of the house. No rhyme or reason. I went to my cousin's car and colored in their license plate with a magic marker, filled in all the gaps around it. And I didn't know, I thought I was going to get in trouble so bad. My uncle caught me. He started yelling at me. This guy was a preacher too. He started yelling at me, getting me in trouble. I'm like, what did I do now? Well, of course, you play, you pay. I had to pay the consequences. I did get a spanking. And then I had to have soap and water and start washing the side of the house. And I'm like, and I thought to myself, why am I even, at that time, why am I doing this? This is so stupid, but I did it anyway because of boredom. So, lesson learned there, don't be destructive. Vandalism is not cool, even though it was fun at the time. But no, that was one story there. I got in trouble for that, marked up the house and license plate on my cousin's car. And then later on in life, here I am bored again. Like I said, throwing the baseball glove up in the air and down. Get in trouble there and playing baseball. At school, it was bad. When I was bored at school, you sit there and daydream. I sit there and daydream. Like, what am I going to do after I get out of school today? I'm going to, go home, play with my G.I. Joes and stuff like that, or what, or sit there, but I remember, this is not a how-to video to get in trouble. This is basically telling you what I did. And, whew, boy, let me tell you what, I remember, I think it was in 4th grade, 5th grade, we were in math, and I was bored, and I had this girl sitting beside me, and it was a table of 4. There's 4 of us at this table. And I start wrap up a piece of paper, start trying to throw it down this girl's shirt. Just, she yelling at me. But, that wasn't the story. So I got in trouble for that. The teacher caught me doing that, and I got in trouble there. And then me and my friend was playing pencil war. Don't know what it is. You take a pencil and you just try to stab each other. I don't know why, on our hand. We'll put our hand on the table like this, and the other guy is doing this with their pencil. And if it hits you, you lose. Stupid game. Don't play it. I don't advise it. But this is stuff you do when you're bored in the classroom. And when I was a kid, I don't know why this is what we thought was fun. So, but anyway, we did it. I got stabbed right here, and the pencil went through my skin there, like right here. That was not fun. It hurt for a little bit. Craziness. So, you get, I don't know how many people are single. Was the only child or who had siblings. I was always asked the question, always been asked the question, do you wish you had a brother or sister? And I usually say, yes, I do. I really do wish I had a brother or sister, because it gave me somebody to hang out with, play with, and all that. I didn't care which, it was brother or sister. Now, my parents was expecting a child, but they lost it, and my mom wasn't able to have any more kids after that. Just things happen. But yeah, I did wish I had a brother or sister. And then I've heard people ask people who do have brothers, I wish I was the only child, I'd be spoiled. And, I wasn't spoiled. I mean, I guess I was spoiled with a house over, roof over my head, food on the table, clothes on my back, and they kept me alive. But they, I didn't get everything I wanted, contrary to belief. You didn't get all that. Now, so if you have a brother and sister, be thankful. In my opinion, be thankful you got a brother and sister to talk, hang out with, play, put your trust in, protect them or protect you, or both, vice versa. But me, I was bored. It was easy to be bored when you're by yourself and your mom's working and your dad's out there working out in the field, and you're at home trying to keep yourself occupied. Now, yeah, I went out and rode my bike. We heard the story about me getting lost. I had a bunch of bike wrecks because I thought I could be Superman and jump everything in the world, and I end up breaking some bones or getting hurt. So it seems like when you're bored, you get in trouble. Is that how it goes? My dad, I heard people say it's your fault you're bored. Well, to an extent, it is my fault. There's always something I could be doing. I could draw, I could play with my G.I. Joes when I was that young. But when you're a kid, you don't think about all that. You don't get into deep subjects when you're a kid. Or me hasn't, and I have a child, and she never got into deep subjects when she was a kid. She just said, I'm bored. And me being an adult, learning, I said, oh no, it's your fault. You go find something to do. You won't be bored. But you don't think of that when you're 5 years old. When you're bored, you think there's nothing to do. Even though you're surrounded by stuff to do, you just think, but so I see that saying when you're older. Now, if I'm at age right now, if I'm saying bored, yeah, I'm surrounded by stuff, I can have something to do. I won't be bored. That is my fault. But when you're 5 years old, you don't think, you don't get in that realm of thinking. If it ain't in front of you, you ain't got nothing to do. But it's just, sitting back, watching other kids now, and they say they're bored. It kind of took me back. My daughter came out the other day and said, I'm bored, I ain't got nothing to do. And I'm thinking, and I thought the first thing too, well, there's stuff you can be doing. But it took me back when I was a child. Well, you know what? When I was bored, what did I do? I got in trouble. Got into things I wasn't supposed to. Started smoking. I don't smoke no more. But my dad smoked, and you see, when growing up, seeing my dad smoke, I always wanted to be like my dad. So I remember him working out in the field. Mom was at work. I came home and I found his cigarettes and pulled one out of the pack and lit up, and it ruined me. But since I quit smoking now, I'm going on 5 or 6 years or something like that. But see, that's how I wasn't born enough to get into big trouble, like, with drugs and stuff like that. Cigarettes was about the hardest thing I did drug wise. Even though it's still pretty big, but I didn't get on the hard stuff like, all the other stuff that's out there. I drank a little bit, but that was about it. Now after being a kid and getting a teenager, getting in trouble, you get bored. I told you the story about skipping school. Told you the story about getting lost on the bike. Just stupid stuff that I done when I was a kid, being bored. Flattening my dad's tire. That was a big no-no. I don't know why I did that. I thought it'd be cool to put a nail right there behind the tire as he backed up and pop it. Back when I was a kid, that's what happened. Now, and what else? I mean, I don't. Dude, I got so many stories to tell you. It's not even funny. Drawing on that house and license plate. I remember taking off my dad's fender. In his El Camino he liked the El Camino, and I remember him up there working on it or something, and I got playing with his wrenches and started taking bolts off anywhere I could take bolts out, and he was going behind me, tightening them up and yelling and getting on me. Then I remember taking a ball-peen hammer to the gas tank of his Harley. See, that's me being bored. That's me finding something to do. Let's go tear something up. I remember that story well. We were living in Lee Summit. We had a garage down on, well, and my mom and dad. It was Sunday. I think it was Sunday afternoon because we all got back from church, and Dad's belief Sunday was a rest day. You know, so he was up there taking a nap, and Mom was up there watching TV, and my playroom was downstairs. That's where they kept my toys and everything, and the garage was right there by it. Opened up the garage door, walked out there, took my dad's ball-peen hammer, and I started hitting the gas tank of his Harley Davidson. I'm just doing, doing, doing. Now here, Mom. You know, my dad's name was Raymond. He goes, Raymond, you better get down there. He's into something. He's doing something. My dad walks downstairs. I'm just going away on hammer. And I seen his eyes get big. He comes over there. He gets on to me and takes the hammer. He told me that stay out of the garage. You know, I didn't get a spanking that day, but boy, I bet I deserved it. Whew. Just stupid stuff that I did when I was bored. But now that I'm older, when I'm bored, I say I'll just take a nap. That's something. So I won't get in trouble that way. I get bored, I can do other stuff and that I need to get done. So it's not really that bad of a deal. But guys, I don't get that bored now because, you know, I'm more mature. I can always find something to do. Hence taking a nap, whatever it may be. Guys, that'll be it for today. Hope you enjoyed this Beyond the Click and Cliff, and hope you're not bored out there with it. Like I said, these videos may take 30 minutes to an hour, but you know, all in all, I try to keep it in a nice listening venue. If you do, hit that like button real quick, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you did when you were bored. Maybe you got some stories you want to share with me when you were bored, and see if you kind of trouble you got into. If you got in trouble, you may have been a good kid. I wasn't that good, I don't guess. But anyway, guys, you know, until next one, stay safe, pay it forward, and always be kind. Bye bye.